Lesson 1 prepares you to master all subsequent lessons more easily by helping you achieve harmony with the water. Superman Glide will create immediate energy savings and increase comfort and control by teaching you to cooperate with, rather than fight, gravity. The wide track's arm position will increase stability. Streamlined legs will reduce drag and turbulence and save energy. Laser lead flutter will help you align head and spine to create a balanced body line. Superman Flutter converts wasteful churning into a relaxed, effective flutter that moves you along with a minimum of effort or turbulence. Most important, improve your whole stroke immediately with short, high-focus swimming sets. Trial and success, not trial and error. Push off the bottom and see how far you can glide without kicking. Let your head hang, weightless, between your arms. If your legs sink, let them go. Keep gliding until they touch bottom. Extend your arms shoulder wide and streamline your legs to draft behind your torso. Your primary focus is to streamline and sink into weightlessness. Repeat back and forth in shallow water, feeling weightless, effortless travel. In a shallow pool, see how few push-offs it takes you to get across. I crossed this 20-meter pool in 3 push-offs. Start where you finished the previous step. Glide in streamline. Pull your arms back and begin kicking as you lose momentum. Keep gliding with a gentle kick until you need a breath or when an easy kick no longer suffices. With arms back, you'll sense head position more clearly. Release it to a neutral, weightless position. Then focus on your laser beam, a projection of your head-spine line. It should always point where you're going. Mold your arms to your body and keep your kick quiet and easy. Take care to avoid these 2 errors. Don't lift your head or look forward. And don't push it down or bury it. Practice until you're highly conscious of having a weightless, neutral head position and leading with your laser. Stop and restart when you lose momentum or need to breathe. Starting with Superman Glide, practice swimming with a weightless, neutral head position. Swim just a few strokes, giving complete focus to letting your head hang. Feel a weightless head while gliding. Maintain it as you stroke. If it feels easy, add a fourth stroke to experience this sensation a bit longer. Practice until a weightless head starts to feel natural. Then shift focus to keeping your hands relaxed as you stroke. Finally, let your legs just follow your body. Feel their weightlessness on your glide. Keep feeling that as you begin stroking. Once your legs are relaxed, add an easy, streamlined kick. Push off and glide until you feel support. Begin kicking just enough to support your legs. Head and hands still hanging, arms at shoulder width. Streamline your legs during the glide. Begin kicking as an active streamline. Use a quiet, small, unhurried flutter. If you lose momentum, push off again, kicking only as needed to sustain a lazy glide. Next, integrate whole stroke again. Glide weightlessly first, then a few easy kicks, followed by 3 unhurried strokes. Keep your arms in the same shoulder width position after you begin stroking. If 3 strokes go well, then take 5. Think about the same things: relaxed head, wide track arms. Maintain those sensations for 5 strokes. Lesson 2 teaches you to reshape and reposition your body to reduce drag and to swim farther, faster, easier. Laser lead rotation introduces the weight shift as an effortless source of propulsive power. Rotating in a torpedo-like shape with arms back tunes up spinal stabilizers, the most critical muscle group for efficient swimming. Extending your body line will reduce drag and put your hand in the optimal position for both balance and to hold water as you stroke. You'll memorize this position by stroking to it from Superman Glide. Finally, consolidate your new drag-reducing, body-shaping skills in whole stroke with short, guided focus repeats. Begin as in head-first flutter. Hold the position briefly, then drop one shoulder to rotate off your stomach. Continue, kicking easily, until you need a breath or lose momentum. Rotate just enough to feel air on one shoulder. Keep your head in place, laser aimed forward as you rotate. Practice rotating to both sides. Next, pull your arms and rotate at the same moment. You should find it easier to pull and rotate at the same time. Hold a long torpedo shape from head to toes while you flutter easily. Hang your head in line and bubble from your nose. Start with hands on wide tracks, then roll onto one track. Avoid this error, rotating too far, stacking your shoulders. When you roll too far, you'll work harder and feel less stable. The rotation you imprint here will hold in every drill that follows and in whole stroke. In this step, start in your previous position, then extend your lower arm. Extend your arm directly forward of your shoulder, then align your body line on that track. This is skate position. Imprint your tracks with extended arms. Rotate onto one track, then extend that arm along the track. Here I'm skating on my left track. Repeat on the other track. Your hand should hang with fingers down. Sneak the arm forward and angle slightly down. Notice my relaxed hand. The other arm molds to my thigh. Next, move dynamically from Superman glide to skate, trying to hit the same position as before. Glide briefly, no kick, then stroke your right arm to rotate onto your left track. Notice my left hand is slightly inside. My involuntary error shows how much focus you'll need to stay on track. First glide a few seconds. Then stroke one arm and extend the other to a relaxed downward angle. Stroke with a smooth and easy motion. Relax your lead hand. Bubble continuously from your nose. My head is hanging in line. My hand is hanging down. My torso relaxes into gravity. Be careful to avoid rotating too far. When your shoulders stack, your hand moves to the center line or even across it. When you return to just off your stomach, both hands move wider and you feel more stable. Also, avoid this error. Don't let your hands scoop up toward the surface. This drill reinforces skills imprinted in skating practice. Skate for a few seconds, stroke 3 times, skate for a few seconds. Memorize your hand position. Hit it 1, 2, 3 times. Check that it's the same as when you started. Notice that my hand is hanging as I skate. It's hanging after each stroke. It's hanging as I finish. My hand is always relaxed. It never tenses. I'm just off my stomach as I skate, while stroking, and when I skate again. Practice until you can consistently hit a wide track, relaxed hand position on all 3 strokes. When 3 strokes go well consistently, add 1 or 2. Notice here that I hang my head while skating during all 5 strokes and as I skate again, and that I have a relaxed hand as I skate, as I stroke, and as I finish. Then pull both arms and rotate to air. Relax back and glide with an easy kick until you lose momentum. Focus first on moving your laser beam or head-spine line straight ahead throughout. Rotate your core first and your head as late as possible. Keep your body as torpedo-shaped as you can. Glide weightlessly without kicking at the start. Keep your laser in line. Bubble steadily from your nose. Ears stay under as you surface. Okay. Relax back with one shoulder out on your surface glide. Practice rotating both ways until you finish your roll in balance and breathing easily. Rotate as before, then halfway back, looking at the side wall. Finish on your back, feeling balanced. Repeat, rolling, then looking in the other direction. Finish on your back in balance. Your head still lags as you roll up, but moves in sync to look sideways. When you can do one cycle well, add a second. This time, stay slightly off your back as you turn your face up for air. Finish nose down and off your stomach. Keep your laser beam moving forward in every position. Next, practice several breath cycles without pausing to look sideways. Your goal is to be off your stomach as you look down and off your back as you look up. Your head should still lag as you rotate up. Everything moves in sync as you rotate down. Your breathing side shoulder is always dry. Notice my head-spine alignment and that I'm never on my stomach or on my back. Keep your arms molded to your front thighs. Avoid sculling them to help with rotation or stability. Bubble steadily from your nose. A bit more forcefully as you rotate up to air. Avoid this error, rotating on your back or on your stomach. Practice up to 3 breath cycles going both ways to develop good breathing habits and to tune up the spinal stabilizer muscles that keep you aligned. Next, we'll repeat the same rotation and breath skills with an arm extended. First, rotate once to face up. Rotate without making waves and finish off your back. Flutter easily for several breaths to check balance and ease. Head and spine always moving forward. Shoulder just above the surface while breathing. Rotate and glide through the smallest possible hole. Avoid turbulence. Finish off your back with ears well below the surface. Keep practicing this skill until you glide serenely with your face up, rotating both ways. Next, we'll finish the same exercise in nose-down skate position. Pause before and after the breath in skate, nose down, off your stomach. Extend your lead hand to its fingers down wide track position. Float it up to the other track. Return it to the same place. Practice the same focus with the other hand, rotating in the other direction. Avoid this error, rotating on your stomach as you go face down. The right hand starts on the right track, moves to the other track, returns to the right track. It never tenses or stiffens. When you do all those skills well, add 1 or 2 breath cycles. Release your head into the water and stay off your stomach and back. Slip through the smallest possible hole and avoid making waves as you rotate up and down. Use your relaxed lead arm to pierce the water and set your direction. Always finish in skate position. Glide without kicking for a few moments before rotating. Keep your body super streamlined and mold your rear arm to your front thigh. No sculling. Bubble steadily from your nose. This exercise is ideal for imprinting a nearly submerged, weightless head position as a constant in your swimming. Practice rotating both ways. Your head should never lead rotation. If you practice a full pool length, do it to improve rotational skill and drag avoidance, not as a kicking exercise. If you can't do this without tiring, wear fins or stop when you fatigue. Don't practice struggle. Spend more time nose down to memorize the off-your-stomach position. Keep your rear arm molded to your thigh. Avoid turbulence. Laser always moving forward. This drill is just like the skate to swim in Lesson 2, with the addition of the breath you just practiced. Pause and skate before and after the breath. Glide until you feel weightless. Set your skate position. Stroke easily. Skate again. Breathe off your back. Skate a moment and stroke again. Establish hand position while skating. Hit that position 1, 2, 3 times. Hold and skate, then rotate to air. Resume skate. Hit the same spots with your hands. Repeat the breath. The most likely error is to rush back to stroking. If you don't pause and skate after breathing, you may stroke too early. Avoid that by pausing and skate before breathing and before stroking again. When one breathing cycle goes well, add more cycles with the skating pause. If you take 3 strokes, you'll change breathing sides with each cycle. Take every opportunity to imprint and memorize your skate position. Skate before stroking. Skate before breathing. Skate before stroking again. Each time, reinforce relaxed hand position, released weightless head, off your stomach. Maintain these while stroking. Two foundations of perpetual motion freestyle are active streamlining and using weight shifts, not arm and leg churning for propulsion. Lesson 4 teaches you to pierce the water with your extending arm, then slip a streamlined body through that hole. You'll learn to use your high hip to spear your arm forward and learn to hold your place with your lead arm, then move past it with a weight shift. This combination produces an effortlessly powerful whole body movement. Spear switch adds a new arm movement to the skating body position you practiced in lessons 2 and 3. Rehearse that arm movement as shown here. Crouch in shallow water and relax your head into a weightless, neutral position. Extend one arm into your practiced skate position on the track with a hanging hand. Repeat the motion I demonstrate. Sneak the other arm forward on its track. Pause with elbow in and palm up alongside your goggles. Rehearse this with both arms. Push off to skate, then bring your arm forward as rehearsed. Pause your hand for a full breath to imprint this position. Take a breath and repeat if that went well. When you pause, both arms should be on their tracks. Keep your body long and streamlined. Then imprint the other side. Hang your extended hand as you hold your pre-switch position. Burn the pre-switch position into muscle memory by practicing the arm movement several times on one breath, striving to hit the same mark each time. Stay off your stomach and hang the extended hand on its track throughout. Stay streamlined and kick easily as you practice. Next, add one correct switch to your pre-switches. Pause at your goggles once. Then again. Then pause and switch to your skate position. Then imprint the other side, keeping hand positions consistent and staying off your stomach. Finish with a switch. You can also practice this with a single extended pre-switch. Stay off your stomach and on your tracks while pausing. Finish with one correct switch to skate position. Keep your head weightless and one shoulder just above the surface during the pause. Switch to your memorized skate position. Practice switching in both directions. Streamline and relax, then switch smoothly. Both arms on their tracks as you start, while you pause, and after you switch. Take care not to cross over or rotate onto your side. Keep both arms on track and just rotate off your stomach. Also, take care not to scoop your hand up as you switch. Aim for a fingers down finish as you switch. When you consistently hit your best skate position on one switch, add 1 or 2 switches on one breath. On each switch, pause at your goggles, then switch to your skate position. Keep hand and body position consistent. Then start on the other track and stay on your tracks on each switch. After the pause, your weight shift propels you forward effortlessly. Your right hip drives your right hand to its mark. When your switches are consistent on one breath, practice and imprint more by adding an interrupted breath. Pause after your last switch, roll easily to air, then pause in skate position before you resume switching. The pauses during switches and before and after breathing let you examine and imprint correct hand and body positions. Start with lead hand hanging with fingers down. Spear to the same position. Pause in that position before, then after your breath. Hold your place with that lead hand as you drive your other hip. Your goal is never just to reach the other end of the pool. It's to imprint your brain and nervous system with the right positions and movements, and to practice ease. That ease comes from staying streamlined and holding the water rather than pushing it back. and examine drill cycles that allow time to visualize and imprint critical positions, to rhythmic and continuous drill cycles that prepare you for fluent whole stroke swimming. As in lessons 1 to 4, you'll also segue smoothly from learning new skills in drills to integrating them in whole stroke. Review the last drill from lesson 4, interrupted switches with interrupted breathing, to hone key skills before introducing new ones. When you pause at your goggles, visualize the target you'll spear to. After spearing, check that your still relaxed hand is at its target and that you're aligned, fingers to toes, on the track. Relax and review key points as you breathe, and use your high hip to drive your hand to its fingers down catch. If you need more air or more time, review interrupted breathing. Rotate smoothly around your head-spine line, letting your hand float across and up. Rotate just as cleanly back down to off your stomach with your hand hanging. Bubble steadily from your nose as you rotate. Stay streamlined at all times. Continuous switches prepare you for whole stroke rhythms, but practice them slowly. At first, practice just 4 to 5 switches, leaving out breathing. Gradually eliminate the pause at your goggles. Continue spearing along wide tracks and align your whole body with the lead arm. Focus on a patient lead hand. Switch only as the other hand passes your goggles. Holding the water while moving past it with hip drive saves energy and increases power. When every switch feels coordinated, add breathing again to practice more of them. Interrupted breathing will help you maintain timing. Are your switches as smooth and controlled after the first breath as before it? And again after your second breath? If so, carry on. Can you keep your lead hand relaxed and patient during continuous movement? And breathe with a briefer interruption? Before combining continuous breathing and continuous switches, it's best to master the new breathing skills alone. Holding a relaxed hand at its target, rehearse breathing with one goggle underwater and your mouth just at the surface. Bubble between breaths. Keeping the lead hand on its track as you breathe will be a key skill. Mindfully imprint that here. Then practice in skating position. First, move your head only partway to air. With one goggle just under the surface, keep your hand relaxed on its wide track. Rotate your head on the spine line. Bubble continuously. When you turn just far enough to breathe, you may notice your hand moves too. At least keep it hanging with fingers down. As you practice, mindfully control your shoulder rotation. Bubble steadily and always return to off your stomach with hand on track. A key difference from interrupted breathing will be no longer moving your hand across and up. Instead, you'll keep it on track with fingers down. Start with infrequent breathing. At least 3 switches between breaths. Avoid breaking rhythm as you breathe. Get a bite of air with head barely turned and flow seamlessly back into switching. Keep a patient lead hand on every switch, especially during your breath. Focus on a rhythm that flows just as smoothly while you breathe as between breaths. Notice how my relaxed hands go to the same target every time, and linger at that target during the breath. Mastering this takes patient, targeted practice. Introduce every cycle breathing with unhurried movements and short repeats like the 3 breath cycles I practice here. On every switch, line up your body rhythmically, keep a patient lead hand, and flow smoothly down the pool. Seamless rhythm, not getting there, is your goal. Grabbing a quick bite of air as the surface closes over your mouth is a high-level breathing skill. Can you do this with only part of your mouth out? Mastering this will greatly increase your efficiency in the drill, but even more in whole stroke. Bring the skills mastered in spear switch to whole stroke, starting with just 3 strokes as shown here. An interrupted breath before you start stroking will give you time for mental prep. Extend your hand and align your body on the track while switching. Continue doing that with each stroke. Drive your relaxed hand to a fingers down target on each switch. Hit that same target on every stroke. Stroking only 3 times makes it easier to avoid error. Practice short segments repeatedly to memorize effective movements. When 3 strokes go well, add a second cycle of 3. And perhaps transition to continuous breathing as you do. Be satisfied to add one high-skilled cycle of 3 strokes at a time. Don't go to the end of the pool just to get there. Set a pattern on your drill cycles. Maintain it on your first 3 strokes. Repeat skilled movement on all the strokes you take. Short segments teach you faster because you never practice error. Lesson 6 will teach you to use weight shifts to create effortless propulsion. You'll learn to recover on wide tracks and spear your hand to its target at the most effective angle. You'll also learn to connect arm and leg action to power from your core. Finally, this lesson will guide you to a seamless transition from drill practice to a new, improved whole stroke. This is the first drill that involves bringing your arm from the water. How you move it forward matters a great deal. Rehearsing this way will help you learn the optimal positions and movements much faster. Inch your arm forward with your hand submerged. Move your elbow a few inches, then check that your arm is still hanging like a rag doll. Finally, pause with your arm hanging in front of your ear. Waggle and dip it there. When you've maximized your relaxed range of motion, repeatedly retrace your path until you can move a vertical arm this far without strain. Also, follow wide tracks forward. Lead with your elbow. Feel your relaxed hand trail behind. Then, push into Superman glide. Pull one arm back and rotate off your stomach. After a moment, repeat the action you just rehearsed. Hang your arm forward of your ear and seek an effortless equilibrium. When you lose momentum or need a breath, stand. Repeat with the other arm. Lead with your elbow, then hang a relaxed arm in front of your ear while kicking gently. This shows how much concentration it takes to keep both arms on wide tracks. I think my left arm is wide, but it's not.
In front of my nose.
Starting with Superman Glide will help you find the weightless feeling that makes swing skate easier. Take an interrupted breath and practice a second cycle. Here, I do better keeping both arms on wide tracks. Notice both hands are relaxed. Finish by falling into one switch. Progress from one easy switch to several. Hang your arm in front of your ear, then nudge your hip to initiate a switch. Notice that both hands are always relaxed, and that I pause with both arms forward before switching. Do a few effortless switches before doing more. Hang your hand, then spear to the same target each time. Your elbow and upper arm should barely clear the surface. Your switch should hardly disturb the water. As in Lesson 5, you'll learn fastest by practicing briefly but well. When you perfect 3 switches, add an interrupted breath and 2 or 3 more switches. Then eliminate the pause and transition to continuous switches. These switches are continuous but leisurely. The lead hand is patiently holding water at its target while the other hand comes toward its target. From a high, steep angle, drive into the same fingers to toes streamline as in spear switch. Keep making your switches less deliberate and more flowing. As you do, only your hand will be submerged. When you introduce continuous breathing, take only one breath, but do it well. As you breathe, keep a relaxed and patient lead hand until you switch. As in Lesson 5, breathe less frequently. Allow at least 3 switches between breaths. When one breathing cycle goes well, add a second breath. Your rhythm should almost match that of whole stroke. If 3-switch breathing goes well, try every cycle breathing to one side, keeping a patient lead hand on a wide track during each breath. Keep both hands relaxed at all times. This saves energy and improves the entry angle. Each arm follows a straight, wide track forward with a relaxed hand just submerged. After many short, meticulous, and examined repeats, your practice of swing switch will feel and look much like whole stroke swimming. Lesson 7 brings us to the critical moment where you practice more swimming and less drilling. A relaxed, compact recovery is essential to efficiency because it helps channel your energy in the direction you're moving. It also sets up the propulsive part of your stroke by putting your hand in the most advantageous position for catch. You'll travel farther if your hand faces directly back from the moment of entry and throughout the stroke. A relaxed hand holds water effectively but prevents fatigue. When your hand is relaxed on recovery, it's easier to avoid tensing it as you stroke. While swimming through waves and chop in open water, I work less and swim better than others. The main reason is my ability to maintain recovery form helps me move through the water more efficiently. The form I display in rough water was refined and imprinted in calm water during countless hours of mindful practice. Transition to swimming, start with several cycles of Lesson 6's swing drill. Then lift your fingertips barely above the surface and almost immediately insert them back in. During swing, feel the water's resistance against your immersed hand. Yield to that resistance by softening your arm, then maintain that relaxation as you lift your fingertips clear. Start with strong resistance and deliberate movement to create straight, wide tracks. With just your hand immersed, keep mindfully imprinting the wide tracks and straight path. On every stroke, feel and minimize the small wave created by your relaxed wrist. Swim short repeats with your hand immersed for a few strokes, then clear for a few more. Hold off on breathing until the finer skills feel right. At times, sequence wrists submerged, then knuckles, then fingertips before clearing the water. When short repeats feel right, progress to full pool lengths. Start with a few cycles of swing, then transition seamlessly to a free-moving recovery that feels the same as your resisted recovery. Try to keep rhythm, relaxation, and direction the same before and after you lift your fingertips clear. Start rehearsal where the recovery starts, with how your arm exits the water. Draw circles in the air with your elbow, using your shoulder as the axis and carrying a suspended arm throughout. Then maintain that elbow circling sensation while swimming a short distance. Notice the loose, easy elbow circle on each recovery. Then circle your other elbow, perhaps leaving fingertips submerged as you do. Swimming just a short distance without breathing will make it easier to hold your focus and form. This rehearsal should leave you with a relaxed circular swing forward that transfers energy and momentum from one stroke directly to the next. Keep the circle free moving and away from your body. This rehearsal helps you turn off muscles and reduce unneeded tension in your arm. This will increase range of motion to insert your hand cleanly, yet forward of your head. The optimal entry is hand, then forearm, then upper arm. Bring a suspended arm forward in stages. Then feel for tension while moving forward and back. When you've eliminated any vestige of tension or resistance, hold that marionette arm feeling through several strokes. That exercise will prepare you to slice through the surface at an angle like this, optimal both for drawing energy from weight shift and for trapping water before your next stroke. The more water I trap behind hand and forearm after entry, the farther my stroke will propel me. And the steep angle of attack connects to the power produced by my high hip driving down. The high hip drives you past the extended hand. Visualize and trace a straight line that follows wide tracks with this rehearsal. Arms suspended and fingertips at the surface. Then hold on to that feeling for just a few non-breathing strokes. Practice too with alternate arms, slowly retracing a straight, wide line from exit to entry. Mindfully visualize and follow the same line while stroking. Rehearse and practice to develop a stroke habit of channeling your energy and momentum on each stroke in the direction you're moving. How you bring your hand forward predetermines how you'll stroke it back. If your hand faces and moves directly back from the entry, your body will move forward as it does. Sequencing cycles of 2 key drills can help blend skills taught in different lessons and integrate them in your full stroke. Lessons 4 and 5 focused on streamlining your body and rhythmic weight shifts. Lessons 6 and 7 focused on linking weight shifts to propulsion. In this lesson, you learn to move seamlessly from spear switch to swing to swimming to harmonize these aspects of efficiency. First, review the transition from spear switch to whole stroke with just 3 switches followed by 3 strokes as shown here. An interrupted breath between them can ease the transition. Drive your relaxed hand to a fingers down target on each switch. Take an interrupted breath, then hit the same target on the next 3 strokes. Next, review the transition from swing to stroke. As you did in Lesson 7, pattern a relaxed hand and arm and steep switch. Keep those as you transition to stroking. On this and the next rep, I transition with a continuous breath. But you can use an interrupted breath if the break in rhythm helps you maintain form from switches to strokes. Add more strokes following another breath if the first few feel good. Then combine both drills with stroking. Set wide tracks on spear switch. Stay on those tracks in swing switch and follow them again in stroking. Imprint rhythmic weight shifts in spear switch Use your hip to drive your hand down in swing. Maintain that easy rhythm to the wall. In this example, I use a fully interrupted breath between spear switch and swing, and a semi-interrupted breath in the second transition. Slow your rhythm a bit when you introduce continuous breathing to your transitions. This can give you a bit more leisure in the transition. Take a few moments in skating to feel weightless. Take your time while switching. Use a semi-interrupted breath. Do one transition smoothly before adding a second. Focus on one thing in both drills. Here my hands go to the same target on every switch. The continuous breath transition helps you maintain a constant swimming-like rhythm through all three activities. The key to a smooth transition is a sneaky breath and patient lead hand. The rhythm is continuous yet unhurried between and during the breaths. When you harmonize all three movements, your core body feels the same all the way down the pool. Only your arms change their pattern. My loosely separated fingers show that my hands stay relaxed on spear switch and on swing, and as I begin stroking. Your high hip drives your hand to its target, and your hand has plenty of time to trap water before the next hip drive. Single arm practice requires great body control, but is the best way to connect hip action to arm stroke. It also improves your ability to hold on to the water as you breathe. These drills can do much to help integrate basic skills. Single arm spear will teach you the basic coordination for all single arm drills. From Superman glide, pull both arms and rotate off your stomach. Then bring right hand to goggles, pause, and drive right hip to move hand to target. Pause and skate just off your stomach, then drive your left hip to return to your start position. The key new thought is to use right hip to move right hand forward and left hip to bring it back. At first, just follow the tracks as shown here. Pause before and after each hip drive to check your position. On tracks and just off your stomach. Watch the hip action here and how arm action forward and back is simply connected to it. When you feel that connection, add the other arm as shown. Keep your repeats short and don't add breathing until you feel the coordination. Before breathing in single arm, review these tune-ups from Lesson 4. While crouching, keep your arm on track and head aligned. Bring your mouth barely above the surface. Then practice in skate, bubbling steadily. Give close attention to your hand. Keep it relaxed, still, and on a wide track. Then include that breath when you reach skate in the drill. Wait until looking down to drive the high hip. Again, stay with short repeats and only 1 or 2 breaths until you maintain the coordination you had before breathing. When you progress to single arm swing, start again without breathing to give all your attention to the new movement, the swing recovery and setup. The steeper arm position should give a stronger sense of high hip driving hand to target. Once that hip-to-hand feeling is consistent, add a breath or 2 as you did in Spear. Stay patient after breathing. Then integrate the second arm as you did in Spear. Again, keep repeats short. Just 2 single swings followed by 3 to 4 with both arms. Strive for a sense of using gravity even more than muscle for your weight shifts. When you link in the other arm, strive for symmetrical movement and the same sensation with both. When the hand-to-hip connection feels stable, you can breathe on every cycle as shown here. Again, keep repeats short, just a few consecutive breaths done right. The key skill is to keep head aligned and hands stable as you breathe. Head, hip, and hand all move together after the breath. Then arm and hand drive cleanly to the target. Keep your relaxed hand facing back and wrist below elbow as you breathe. Then just hold the water as your high hip drives you past your grip. Keep bubbling steadily. Breathing to your stroking side is a more advanced skill. You'll need great patience to do it smoothly. Set up and skate before each breath. Then move hip, hand, and head together. And keep your head aligned and low as you breathe. The two-beat kick is an essential skill of perpetual motion freestyle. It minimizes drag and turbulence and takes virtually no energy, but adds whole body power to your stroke. The ease, relaxation, lack of bubbles, and overall flow in the two-beat combine to help you swim long distances without tiring. But it also adds power so seamlessly that it's almost hidden. The two-beat adds to propulsion by driving your body into its most streamlined position. Notice the span between lead hand and opposite foot, which I recreate on the other side. I drive the right foot to put me in a streamlined left track position, and the left foot to streamline on the right track. The slight curve in my back shows how hard it is to stay aligned. Here, pay particular attention to how leisurely the start of each stroke is. Staying streamlined maintains momentum, giving me extra time to trap water on the catch. Creating that momentum comes from synchronizing the kick with hand and hip. On this length, I used a sharper but still compact toe flick to move my body more quickly from full extension to full extension. Then my legs streamline until the next stroke. Just a few strokes without kicking or breathing. Let your legs sink if they will. Superman glide to feel weightless, then keep legs streamlined and ankles together as you stroke. I'm trying to swim without rotating, but my hips still roll. Next, allow your feet to separate, but control how far they move. Superman glide so you don't have to kick, then stroke easily. Foot action should be gentle and small. Next, add a light nudge to your hip and feel the feet respond. Don't kick overtly, allow your feet to move. More freely, but still gently. Finally, add energy to your feet, but do it only as a toe flick. Try to minimize foot spread and turbulence as you do. This form of vertical kick relates more closely to two-beat. Kick straighter and a bit wider than usual. Use stronger beats to rotate your body. When that coordinates, try rotating on each kick. Repeat the same action in skate position. Your kick will be wider here than when you swim. Energize the right leg when on your right track. Repeat on the left track, energizing your left leg. Then add a few strokes, feeling the left leg energy drive the right hand to its target. Stroke slowly and feel the opposite foot propel your hand to its target. Remain stable between leg drives. The ability to streamline your legs in 2-beat is just as important as the ability to drive them. Spear switch is perfect for learning that skill. After each spear, squeeze and hold the legs for a moment. Travel an extra moment in skate while holding arms still and legs streamlined. Then pause your kick when you pause your hand at your goggles. Use the opposite foot to drive your hand to its target. Pause your legs before you spear. Streamline them after the spear. Then use the same timing in swing practice. You should feel a stronger sense of toe flick driving hand to target. The kick will be wider, but this helps you feel the whole body connection.